is Thursday. Man, we got a hellacious storm coming in. Holy smokes. Whoever's having a good day, whoever stays safe during this crazy weather we got coming in starting tomorrow. It's going to be a wild storm, you know, so whoever's got food, generator, gas, whatever, wood, whatever you need to stay warm. Anyway, topic for today is I told you guys Trump wasn't going to kick out the illegal immigrants, right? He wasn't going to round people up. He wasn't going to, you know, bust them out, fly them out. He wasn't going to do any of that stuff, you know, and there's a bunch of reasons for that. But when he was at Davos, he was basically saying, no, we can't kick out any of these people. These are good, hardworking people. They're good, honest people, and we can't kick them out. We're only going to go after the criminals, the rapists, the murderers, these kind of things. And while he's been saying a little bit of a version of that, you know, for quite a while now, I still kind of held out hope that maybe he would get a little bit more aggressive on getting these people out. And to be quite honest with you guys, like personally, I'm not averse to illegal immigration or illegal immigrants. I'm not really averse to these people being here. They are super hardworking people, and I've said it many times. Like, I'll trade one illegal immigrant that works hard. I'll give you 2 Americans that don't work hard. They can go to Mexico. We'll bring the illegal workers here, and it's not the most popular thing to say in the world. But the reason these immigrants need to be kicked out isn't because they're not hardworking people, they're not good people. It's because we have the rule of law in America. And I know a lot of people, you know, a lot of people believe that the rule of law doesn't exist in America anymore. And I'm starting to kind of believe that a little bit. If Trump was in fact going to bring back some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Bring back some kind of integrity to America, he would start rounding these people up, you know? And then you see the stuff on the news where the media is basically painting it like, you know, ISIS going through, grabbing people out of homes, grabbing people out of work, grabbing people out of their cars, grabbing people off the streets, snatching them up and getting them out of here, and all these kind of things. And it's not completely accurate. Like what do you expect these people to do, right? Like, if you let 10 million people into this country in 4 years, like, how do you get them out? You know, and that's the thing. That's what people knew when they let all these people come in here, right? There's a lot of reasons why all these illegal immigrants were allowed in America, but everybody knew that once you let these people in, there's no getting them out, because you can't round them up without all the bleeding heart people, you know, basically saying, oh, it's not fair. They've got kids and they've got families and all this kind of stuff. And while all of that is true, you got to go back to the rule of law, you know, and if you're not willing to enforce the rules which your country is founded upon, then you have anarchy, right? You have no rules, which we have a form of anarchy in America today. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you basically got a whole group of people that see America this way, and they got another side that see it completely different, you know, which is, I don't quite understand, but it exists. I mean, we got the major clash of people going in today, and when you get on the news and you see these ICE guys trying to take these people out of homes, people flip out. They lose their shit. They were screaming and yelling that they were being led in here, but they sure aren't fucking screaming and yelling now that they're being taken out. It's like, well, which is it? What are we going to have here? Do you want these people to get kicked out so that we can have the rule of law in America, or do you want to feel bad for them? Should we just give them all amnesty? Like, fine. You want to give them amnesty? I got no problems with that. But you have to abide by the rule of law, no matter what you did. You know, and the only criminal in all of this that I hold all this against is Alejandro Mayorkas. That piece of shit went before Congress every year, and he said, the border is secure. The border is secure. He'd say this stuff all the time, and the Congress people would look at him like, well, okay, I guess he said it's secure. Where are the charges for this guy? A lot of you like to bitch about this Pam Bondi person, like she's not arresting people, blah, 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 blah. Everybody knows that there were at least 10 million people led in this country illegally in the last 4 or 5 years, right? Everybody knows it. Nobody has been held accountable. Absolutely nobody, right? And Trump, one of the pillars, this is one of the things that, like I said, I voted for Trump. I was the guy that had the vote Trump on my freaking house in my blue neighborhood in Illinois. Like, I'm that guy. But what this guy's doing is he is betraying the people that voted for him, right? He is absolutely betraying what we voted for. He said, we're going to get you the Epstein files, right? That was one of his big things. Yeah, you got to get those people, the bad people in there. The problem is that he's probably in there. Personally, I don't give a shit if he's in there. I just want to see what's in those files, and I want every motherfucker that's been protected by the FBI, by the CIA, the, you know, Israel, Qatar, France, whoever. I want all these people exposed because I believe in the rule of law above everything else. And nobody is above the law. Absolutely nobody. And Trump really kind of had me believing that he was going to dig into this stuff, right? And the other pillar of his wanting to be president, his running for president, was that he was going to kick out the illegals. And he's going to get Tom Holman in there. Tom Holman's coming back, right? He's coming back. It's like wrestling, you know. He's building. Yeah, here comes Tom Holman. He's going to give him, you know, the like the X thing, like they did in wrestling. You know, he's going to give him the whatever. I don't forget all the freaking wrestling was. I forget the tombstone. You know, he's going to do the suplex the illegal immigrants. He's going to do all this stuff. And he gets in here and he just starts waffling like a bitch. Like he turned heel on us, right? If you're fans of wrestling, like he turned a heel on us. And now he's like, well, they're kind of good people, and you know, they're honest, hardworking people, and you know. Really, the reason he's not going to kick these people out, guys, is what I've been saying forever. He's not going to kick them out because what's Donald Trump's industry? Hotels, right? How many people in the hotel industry are illegal immigrants? I best probably 25, maybe 50% of all the people that work in that industry, it's all illegal labor, you know? And it's because we told everybody, well, Americans don't want to do these jobs. We can't find Americans to do these jobs. American won't do these jobs for the wages that the businesses will pay. It's like, well, then make the fucking businesses pay the right wages. Well, then our business model doesn't work and we won't be able to stay in business. Well, then your business model doesn't work. Large corporations are not allowed to fail, guys. You guys remember COVID? You remember great financial crisis in 08? Remember banks, we bailed out all the banks, we bailed out all the insurance companies, we bailed out all the automotive companies. Everybody got bailed out, you know? And it is impossible for large corporations to go bust anymore. And again, if the business model doesn't work, they'll flood they'll flood America with illegal immigrants, so these businesses have affordable labor. People that'll clean toilets, pick up shit, put up with, you know, nasty fucking patrons of these hotels. They'll get these people and they'll make those business models work. If they can't get Americans, they'll bring in the H-1B visa worker people. They'll bring them in and put them to work. Anything to keep these business models working. When the truth is, guys, these business models are antiquated. They're so antiquated, you know, and I'll talk more about it. I got some numbers for you guys. I wrote down some things. I got a grok, and I just had to know, like, how many immigrants are in all these industries. Right? Like we got to know, like, are we propping up the construction industry with illegal immigrants? Are we propping up the hotel industry, the restaurant industry? All these industries are being propped up by the people like Donald Trump. He refuses to do the thing, which is enforce the law, right? There's no charges for anyone in Epstein files. There's no charges for anybody related to COVID, right? There's no charges for anybody related to try and throw that guy in jail. No charges for jack shit. You know what they did? They just arrested that guy that I guess went in some church in Minneapolis. Like, who gives a fuck? You know, Fox News and all these people on Twitter, they're like, oh, they got the guy that went in the church. Oh, you can't go into our churches. American law. You know, we're not going to oppress our churches. Like, I'm a church-going guy. I'm a God-fearing person. But again, in the grand scheme of things, I don't give a fuck about that person. I don't care about that church. I don't care about that pastor. That pastor carried himself just fine. I'm sure that those people could have taken care of themselves just fine. You know what people can't do? They can't afford to have, you know, a ton of illegal labor brought into this country. They cannot afford to let these antiquated business models come into play and just continue to thrive and to prosper while the small business owner can't get enough traction to take these fucking people out, right? We can't get enough traction. We can't get enough loans. We can't get enough of the good labor. We can't get behind all the regulations or get above all the regulations because big business perpetuates all this shit, guys. It's really freaking bad. So let's go through numbers. Let's say hi to some people real quick, and I'll go through numbers. We're going to talk about the construction industry, the illegal immigrant population within the hotel industry, which is Trump's industry. Trump is protecting all of these industries by having all this cheap labor. When he says, oh, these are good people, they're not fucking good people, man. They're cheap people. That's what it boils down to. And if they're not cheap people, I've told you guys that a lot of times illegal immigrants make more than Americans because they just show up and work. They do a good job. They don't ask questions. They don't care about what you're doing. You know, if you're fucking somebody in the back, they don't care. They don't care if you're drinking on the job, if you're being an asshole. They don't care. They just want to make money, right? And Americans not going to put up with that shit, right? We understand the law. We understand the rules, the regulations. That's one of the reasons you keep these people in here. And Trump's protecting all this stuff, and it's disgusting. So, see who's in your day. Okay, who is this? We got RB and RB. Good to see you. I guess RB Walk or Wilk or something like that. I think what you're trying to say. You're so right. Yeah, I don't know if I'm right, but I just, as a small business owner here in America, I see what these politicians are doing. And it doesn't matter if you're on the right or if you're on the left, okay? And this is, I think, one of the big things that we got to break away from. Like, if you like Trump, right? Who cares if he's a Republican? Who cares if he's a Democrat? You like that guy. You like his policies, right? You like Joe Biden. Fuck the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. It's you like him or his policies, these kind of things. This idea that you have to support everything a person stands for is crap. Everything a party stands for is crap. You don't need to do this shit, right? We need to get back to a place where we are about the law. We are about the morale of this country. We stand for something, and what it seems like is these politicians stand for absolutely nothing. They're all bought and paid for. And again, as a small business owner, I can talk about exactly what it is that they're bought and paid for. And remember what I've been talking to you guys about for the last week, the delta, right? The delta between the $250 you have to pay the worker in China and Vietnam and the $32.50 you have to pay an American worker, right? So what happens is they take that delta, which is $30, and they buy politicians. They have data analysts, right? They allow people to go to college. They bring those colleges in here and they hire people that are industrial engineers, chemical engineers. They hire people that do bullshit jobs for the most part, right? That's what they're doing with all this money, guys. That's why you can't make enough money, because it's either they're going to send it to the third world or they're going to give it to an illegal worker. They're not going to put up with you and your shit. They're going to let you stay on welfare and on food stamps. And I got the numbers right here. We're going to talk about why you can't get fucking paid what you need to get paid, okay? A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's cheaper to put your ass on welfare than it is to try and get you a job, okay? And it's fucked up, guys. So anyway, let's say hi. Okay, who's this was this relevant? I don't know. He said, dude, how the hell did you believe anything Trump said? Well, again, guys, like, I'm human. I'm a normal dude. And again, if you watch me for any amount of time, you know that I run a furniture business, right? We make furniture. I teach people how to do things. I've got people from all over the world that work at my company. I got people from Croatia. I've got people from Guatemala. I've got people from Syria, Honduras, India, me, America, you know, Hick, Redneck Eric. Like, again, you have to put your faith in somebody, guys. And again, if you say, well, I put my faith in myself, you know, like, how's that working out for you, right? I think most people are pretty frustrated with the way things are in America right now. Like, you got to put your faith in someone. And Trump represented, in my mind, the best thing that could move the country where I thought they needed to go, which was get the illegal immigrant population down, if nothing else. Get the taxes down, right? Close the border, because I knew that we were being lied to about the border forever, and it made me so mad that we as people put up with that shit. When that Alejandro Mayorkas dude kept saying, "Oh, the border's secure," and Congress didn't immediately throw his fucking ass in jail for lying, I could never understand that. People are allowed to lie right through their teeth, and then when you call them out on it, they'll say, "Well, technically, the language of law, blah, 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 states that, this is the definition of what secure means." It's like, you fucking liar. If the average person thinks you're full of shit, guess what? You're full of shit. I don't give a fuck what the rules are, what Congress says, what the Constitution says. You can't lie to people through semantics. It's a joke, and we got too much of that going on. I thought Trump was going to be the guy that would literally cut through all that bullshit, and I knew that he's not perfect. I don't expect the guy to be perfect. But then when they tried to kill him, you know, when he got shot, it's like, oh yeah, they don't want this fucking guy getting elected again. He knows all the secrets. He knows where all the bodies are buried. Some of this stuff is going to happen, and then nothing. You know, the border, I'll give the guy the border. I've got the data on the border as well. The border is knocked out. It is done. No one's coming through that bitch. It is secure, and it's hilarious. Again, if you look back at the Biden administration, these guys are like, oh, the border's secure, the border's secure. Like, why the fuck isn't anybody going back and just starting to arrest people, or at least subpoena them, get them before Congress? What did you mean? Please elaborate on what you meant by secure. You told us it couldn't be secured. We didn't have enough money. We didn't have this. I didn't have this. Always, I can't. I don't have it. It's somebody else. Like, bitch, you're the head of this shit. What happened? Nobody wants to ask any questions. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Like, I don't see how people can if it were me, right? Like, take those Epstein files that just got passed. Congress said, you know what, you got to release that shit. December 31st or something like that. What happened? Nothing. They gave us a little tiny drip, right? So if I was Congress and those files weren't released, which I voted for, there's only 3 branches of the government, guys. Congress represents one of them. And if they're not willing to say the president, you know what, motherfucker? We passed this. You signed it. Do your fucking job, right? And where is this Pam Bondi bitch? Why don't they have her in front of Congress getting her ass out? Fucking vote her out. She is not doing her job. Her job is literally to enforce the rules, which are written by Congress, passed into law by the President of the United States, and they're just like, meh. Like, how does that work? If that was me or you would be pissed. You would be so mad. It's like, what a slap in the face. You're the most powerful body in the world, which Congress is, writes a law, gets signed by the most powerful man in the world, and then when it comes time to say, hey, let's see what's going on here, just like, well, we gotta slow roll this thing. It's like, wait, motherfucker, do you not see this? This said January or whatever, December 31st, bitch. What do you think? That's an arbitrary date? Like, we didn't vote for you to, well, we can't. Shut the fuck up. Get it out. We don't care what your little concerns are, your sources and methods. Like, I got a source and a method for you. It's a big, anyway. Okay, let's say, sorry. I get so frustrated that we just don't, the whole thing about the rule of law, guys, and you don't hear a lot of people talk about this, is the rule of law goes both ways, right? There's tons of laws that we have here in America that are complete horseshit, right? Like things that are super outdated, and the thing is that we choose not to follow them, right? We're just like, we'll just look the other way. That's an old, antiquated law. We get to pick and choose what kind of laws we follow, which is really convenient if you're a judge or if you're Congress, because that means that if you don't want something to apply, well, it just doesn't have to apply. As long as you don't make a stink about it, nobody else makes a stink about it, well, then it just doesn't exist. And therefore, Congress doesn't have to do anything, right? So if you're one of these people that says, well, the border's secure, and then you go back to Congress and say, Congress, well, is the border in fact secure? And they're like, well, technically, it kind of is secure. I mean, what the fuck? What? What? Technically? What the fuck does that even mean? Technically? Like, get the fuck out of here. Either it's secure or it's not, right? And again, you're supposed to change the rules. Like, rules are meant to be augmented and changed, repealed, replaced, all these kind of things, and Congress doesn't want to do that. They don't want to do it. You know, and then when the people say, hey, what the fuck is going on here? They're like, well, we can't do anything. Like, what do you mean you can't do anything? You're a Congress. We can't get anyone to agree. Okay, well then great. Nobody comes into the country when the rules are the way they are. If you want more people to come into the country, which one side always says, then pass a law to let more people in the country. Well, we can't do that. Well, then what? So we're just going to look the other way and let everybody in? Which is what they're doing. They're like, well, yeah, we're going to just look the other way and let everybody in. Well, there's, okay, well, then someone else comes in and says, well, now we're going to enforce the law. Let's get these people out. And it's like, whoa, we don't want to get these people out. I mean, these are good people. They've got families. They've got kids. What are we going to do? We can't just kick them out. Like, I'm sorry. I got kids. I'm a man. I got a wife. I got a heart. Get them the fuck out of here. You don't like it? Good. Change the laws. You can change the laws today. If Congress made a law that said, you know what, we're giving amnesty to all these people, I'll go with it. I won't like it, but I'll go with it because it's the rules. But again, you get all these bleeding heart people, like, oh, it's not fair. They're being, like, at some point we got to enforce the rules. So I'm sorry, I'm going on a freaking tear here, guys. Okay, let's say hi to everyone. I appreciate everyone being here, guys. Hit the like button, add the discussion, and let's bat this thing around. I'm gonna participate now. Sorry, I'm so frustrated we don't follow the rules in this country, good or bad. Okay, let's see here. We got Joseph. Who's this? Joseph 3812. Bring Consuela back. I recognize that name. I can't place who that is, so you're gonna have to help me out there. If someone knows who that Consuela is, let me know. Okay, this guy is so funny. This is David Oakley. I'm one of these people, like, I get frustrated. Like, I live and breathe work, right? Like, I guess I didn't do my intro. My name's Eric Wilkin. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine boutique furniture manufacturer. We make about 500 pieces a year. We're known for our high gloss lacquered coating. Go to resplendentcrow.com. You can see the furniture that we sell. I don't sell courses or trying to sell you guys nothing. I just talk about owning a business. That's all I talk about. Like, what it's like to own a business. I never graduated high school. I'm a dumb guy that just worked really hard. I met a great woman who did have 2 degrees, one being in economics, and she learned to paint. I came in, I had 20 years of manufacturing experience. I helped out on the outside, and we've slowly grown this bitch into something where now we both don't have to work. We haven't had to work for 10 years. I haven't been a W-2. I work really hard. But we got 8 employees, right? Got employees from all over the world. Good people, great people. They've been with me. The lowest one is 5 years. The longest one is 10 years, right? So all my employees have pretty much been with me forever. I've hired and fired a lot of people, right? So when I talk about things like how we need to bring up the lower class, we need to educate these people, stop putting them on welfare. I know what I'm talking about because I've hired these people. When we started this company, we hired from the entire community around our factory, which was predominantly black people. As our business grew and we had more rules, we had to get better at what we did, we ended up getting rid of all those people, every one of them, because they just couldn't operate in a structured environment. And so when I talk about, like I said, it's not to put anybody down. Those are the people that I really want to help. I tried to help them when I was a smaller company. I'd like to be able to do it now. So, but anyway, let's continue on. Okay. Who is this? RB says he is cooked out. Yeah, I get worked up about these topics, and I hope you guys get worked up about them too, because it's your country, right? Most of you are paying anywhere from 30 to 50% in taxes. By the time you factor in your state, city, county, federal, the fucking taxes you pay on everything that you buy, the property taxes you pay on everything that you buy, all these taxes, what could you do with 30% of your money back, right? And if you're one of these people that, you know, is on welfare, you're on Section 8, you're on SNAP and all these kind of things, like I got a plan to get all you guys off of that and working, doing what I do, right? Making furniture, right? Or making houses, right? Or getting into construction, you know, working on roads, striping roads, laying concrete, asphalt. There's a lot of jobs out there that a lot of these people could do, and man, it's good work. Like, some people don't think it's good work. Yeah, I got to be outside, it's boring, it's hard. There's nothing wrong with doing hard work, man. That's all I've ever done is work hard my entire life, and I wouldn't change a thing. Like, it was hard, and sometimes it sucked, but man, it was worth it. So, yeah, so I'm just passionate. Okay, who's this? The First Avenger, man, great name. So the First Avenger is that Captain America? I'm a comic book guy. I've been collecting comic books my entire life. My favorite comic book character is Blade, right? I love Blade. I've got all the Blade comic books, everyone you could possibly imagine. Anytime this guy's ever been a comic, I got the cards. He's always been kind of my guy. But yeah, big Blade fan. So love all the Tomb of Dracula stuff. Okay, let's see. 96% of U.S. tariffs have been paid by U.S. customers, while only 4% of tariffs burden was paid through foreign exports. Okay, cool. So, who is this First Avenger? All right, so First Avenger. I am an importer, right? So I import solid brass hardware from India. Okay. So, and I've talked to you guys many times about how importing actually works and how tariffs actually work and why tariffs help my business. Tariffs, I want 400% tariffs in this country, and the reason for this is, First Avenger, I hope you're still in here. Yeah, I really hope you're still in. Let's see if you're still in here, dude. Okay, so here's how it works, okay? So when I import hardware from India, okay, here's exactly how tariffs work. This is the stuff you're not gonna hear on Fox News or CNN or whatever the fucking popular thing is, because none of these people actually own businesses, right? These people talk for a living. They're all MBAs. They all have mass communication degrees. They're all married to rich men or rich women, okay? I actually import stuff. I own a real business, okay? Here's how it works, okay? So I go to the manufacturer of hardware, right? So in India is a massive industry of brass hardware. They make all kinds of brass stuff. Brass is dirt cheap over there, which is hilarious, right? Why is brass cheaper in India than it is in America? And this is the point you guys need. Remember what I just said there. The market is everything, okay? What's the biggest market in the world? Oh, wait. The biggest market in the world is America, right? We have the most money, okay? Hold that thought. All right, so I go to the manufacturer and I say, you know what? I want to make some hardware. And he says, okay. And so my wife is Indian. She speaks Hindi and Marathi. So she tells him what he wants to make, right? So I send him over some CAD drawings, right? So I'm the guy. I design everything in SolidWorks, which is a CAD program. I send it over to him. I send over DXF files. I send over all these step files, everything he needs, okay? He's going to go in India to the industry where all this stuff is. He's going to manufacture this thing. He's going to come back to me. He's going to say, you know what, Eric? Your castings are going to cost this. Your molds are going to cost this. Laser cutting is going to cost this. He then brings me a price and he says, Eric, okay, for you to buy this piece of hardware, pay attention, guys, because this is going to blow your fucking mind, okay? He's going to come and he's going to say, okay, for you to buy one of these pieces of hardware, it's going to cost you $1, $1 American dollar. Okay, so for you to buy 10 of these, it's going to cost you 90 cents each, right? So if you want to buy 100 of these, it's going to cost you 80 cents each. You want to buy 1,000 of these, it's going to cost you 70 cents each. Okay, so I pick my order. Say I'm going to buy 100 of these things, it's going to cost me 90 cents a piece, right? It's $90, okay? Follow me, 90 bucks. Okay, now, every one of those pieces of hardware, I pay 90 cents for these. You know what I sell these things for? About $70, okay? This is the thing you guys need to understand about how the third world works. When I tell you that big corporations are fucking you up the ass, this is it, okay? I'm fucking you up the ass right now. Listen to me when I tell you this, okay? This happens with Nike. This happens at Walmart. This happens at Restoration Hardware, which is the furniture. Our House, Wayfair, a lot of these companies, this is what they're doing, okay? Now, it's not as bad as what I'm telling you guys, but I'm giving you the honest to God truth about what I pay for things, okay? If you go on my website, there's Splendid Crow, type of hardware, you'll see all the kinds of hardware, okay, I sell. Okay, so I buy those for 90 cents each. I buy 100 of them. Okay. Now, when Trump says, "Oh, I'm gonna look at how bad I'm gonna stick it to India. I'm gonna tariff them 25%." Listen to me. Look how big this 25% dick is gonna go right up their ass. Okay. I'm so good for America, right? So my 90 cents that I paid for that piece of hardware. What's 25% of 90 cents, guys? what is it? Was it 21 cents? So you took my product that I was paying 90 cents for. I'm selling it for $70. 90 cents. Now I'm paying $1.18. Do you think I give a flying fuck about tariffs, okay? I don't. I could care less because the markup is so high on what I charge you to buy my product, and I sell it all day, every day, right? Because my customer is rich. My customer is the 1%, you know, and that's when I tell you guys to start businesses, these are who I'm telling you guys to start business for, the 1%, right? I'm doing this. This is how it works, guys. So I'm taking that 90-cent product, 25% tariff, you know, yeah, stick it to them. What am I paying, $1.10 for it? Big deal. I'm still making whatever, 700% on the thing that I'm buying here, okay? Now, if I buy 1,000 of these things, now I'm paying 80 cents. The more I buy, the less I pay for that thing. The tariff, I pay the tariff to UPS, guys. You know that? That's who I pay the tariff to. And then UPS pays the tariff to CPD, is it the Customs and Border Patrol? That's who they paid it to, okay? This is how tariffs actually work, right? So when I tell you guys, we need a 400% tariff on things, I'm telling you that because, again, when I buy a 90-cent part or a piece of hardware from India, if you tariff it 400%, 400 times 9, that's $3.60, okay? It's disgusting, guys. And not everything has that kind of margin, but that's what I'm doing, guys. That's how I make money when it comes to hardware. That's why you cannot let the third world dominate America, because you're gonna have a few companies that run everything, okay? Because sorry guys, I got my little cart here. When a company can't beat you on price, they take the money, the delta, right? The delta between $2.50 and $32.50. The $2.50 being what they pay in China for a labor of hour, and the $32.50 you have to pay for an hour of labor here in America. And then they go to the Congress people and they say, you know what? We need to up the minimum wage. We need to up regulations. You know, painting's really dirty. Painting's really dangerous. You know, Eric over here making things on his table saw, he needs a few more guards on that table saw. You know, he needs some bubble wrap around him, maybe like a football helmet, you know, when he's working on that saw. Let's get these regulations in here, because when we manufacture stuff in China, none of that shit applies. Do you guys see how this works? Right? And if they can't price you out that way, they regulate you so that you can't compete with them. So when Donald Trump says, these are good people, you know, we got to keep these people in here, he's protecting the industries, guys, because he doesn't want to break their business models. You know, you guys are in the comments, hit the like button. First Avenger, I hope I explained to you how tariffs work. When you say that the American customer pays the tariff, you're right. The American customer pays a version of the tariff, but there's steps along the way. So when my guy, when I have to pay a price to a manufacturer in India, if I have to pay too much, guess what? If I'm dropping 100 grand a year with that guy in India and Trump drops a 25% tariff on me and my margin isn't as good as it already is, I'll say to that guy, you know what? You're gonna have to eat, 10% of this. And of course he's gonna say, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm already giving you the best price I possibly can. And you say, okay, well, great. I can't buy 100 grand of shit from you. Now I'm gonna buy 60 grand of shit from you. Guess what? He's calling me back saying, hey, wait a minute, you know, I got people that need to get paid here too, right? You say, not only do Americans have to pay people, we don't want, all of us business owners have to pay our people. The people in India, they got employees too. They got to pay their people, right? Everybody's got to eat. So he's going to eat a tiny bit, right? Well, the importer, right? The people that are bringing that shit across the globe, they're going to eat a tiny bit of it too, because guess what? They need the business. You think all these ships going all over the place are just constantly full? They're not. They're competing to fill up their container ships full of Indian shit, of the Resplendent Crow shit, you know, whatever, First Avengers shit. All these people's shit, there's a competition in all of these industries. Then when it comes here to me, I got to figure out, well, how much of this can I throw at my customer and how much do I have to eat, right? And my customer doesn't care. And here's the bitch of it, guys. If you operate with the 1%, if a tariff comes in, say it's 100%, right? Say I have to double the price of my product, right? Because the tariff is so high. I can double the cost of my product. I will sell less of it, but I will sell enough of it with my customer paying that higher price, I will make just as much money. And the market moves higher. Everybody's prices move higher, right? And this happens in food, it happens in cars, it happens in home goods, it happens in everything, guys. When a tariff comes in and you pass that price on to the consumer, the market just shifts with it and everybody just pays the price. Like, I hate to tell you, there's nobody not paying the price. And it sucks, you know, but it is what it is. So First Avenger, I'm sorry, dude, I spent a lot of time on your comment. It's an important one because I don't think enough people understand economics. We have a lot of people that are so-called experts. And I did a video, guys, about a week ago on this Alonzo Ortiz guy, who's the Fox News expert on what's good for small business. And I did a background check on this guy. He's never owned a fucking business in his life. He's never started a business in his life. This guy's an MBA. All he's done is been on boards his entire life. The job he has now, talking about small business, he was given by somebody else. Like, this guy's a complete charlatan. And this is who these media people put on these channels because they're not real business people, guys. Like I actually own a business. I tell you guys every day what I do, what I got going on, how many employees I have, the kind of money I make. We have real business here. So, okay, next question. First Avenger, dude, I appreciate your comment. Keep going, man. I love it. Okay, more stuff. You are in the third world. No, I'm not. I'm right here in St. Louis, America, dude. Come say hi. What in the hell is your point? You sound like you're just complaining they send companies overseas because labor costs is much less overseas. Well, of course it's overseas, dude. Wouldn't you like to make a little bit more money? Let's get your name right here. So this is James C. Vanderzee, 9099. So wouldn't you like to make a little more money, dude? Wouldn't you like to not compete with the third world? I know. I love getting cheap televisions, right? I love cheap shoes, you know. But here's the thing: when you make an American product, guess what? You get to make an American wage. How do I know that? You know, the last company I worked for, Gulfstream Aerospace, makes the most beautiful private jet in the world, $100 million a piece, okay? They pay us $40 an hour. That's just to make furniture with all the best benefits. You know, we get low-cost loans for working for that company. This is what you get when you work for an American company. You get real wages. You get real benefits, right? You get real safety procedures. When you say low cost, if the labor is cheaper, you know what else is cheaper, bitch? There's no regulations over there. Zero. So your clean air and your clean drinking water that you push for here in America, all the companies, they push for more of that shit here too. Everybody wants it, but they send all the fucking work to another country where there's none of that. You know, and you guys say, oh, well, don't you want cheap everything? What, you want $10 t-shirts, or you want to make $40 fucking an hour with limited experience, limited skills? You could have that if you kick these fucking people out of this country. You know why housing is so expensive? One of the factors is, well, you got 10 million extra people coming in 4 years. Can this country build 10 million new housing units in 4 years? Fuck no, they can't. But again, people are just like, oh, well, we got to keep them. They're here. What do we do? You can't have everything, guys. You can't have it both ways. Do you want your life to get better, or do you want to help the world, help their lives get better? You know why labor is more expensive in China than it is in Vietnam? Because we sent all of our fucking work there, raised their wages, and now it's more expensive to operate there. So we're shifting stuff over to India. We're shipping it over to Vietnam. We're shipping it over to Indonesia, places where it's even cheaper, where there's even less regulations. And yet here, we're still working for more. We're still taking to the Congress people and say, you know what, Congressperson, we really need more regulations. Those solvent-based paints, man, everything needs to be water-based. Solvent is just too dangerous. Nobody asked for this shit except the people with the money. The people that are making the delta. The $250 that they're paying in Vietnam and the $32.50 you should be making here. Tack on another $5 for benefits, zero benefits in China, $5 an hour in benefits in America. Tack on the regulations, zero fucking benefit or zero regulations in China, $10 an hour in regulations here in America. What's it going to be? Are we just going to continue to say, oh, it's just got to continuously get better here in America? America's Rome. What's that Nick Fuentes guy say? America's Rome. We're Rome. Well, you can't be Rome and shift all the work to the third world. I'm sorry, unless you want to take all their shit, which we never seem to do, right? We take America's shit, but we don't take the other country's shit. That's the part they always leave out, you know? So anyway, that's what pisses me off, man. It's cheap labor is great if you're poor. But the reason you're poor is because you buy shit that's cheap. You buy things that are more expensive, guess what? You make more money. Guaranteed, right? You learn to fix things. You learn to make things. Guess what? You don't need to buy 10 shitty things. You can buy 1 or 2 really nice things. And guess what? You're going to be paying the fucking wages of the guy that lives next to you. Not Chang over in China, okay? So yeah, get around, learn something, dude. Okay, let's see. Who's this? We got Morby. Take several. So Xanax, yes. Yeah, no, I work all the time, guys. Like, my life is work. My life is growing this company. My life is furniture. My life is, it's work, you know? So this is the whatever the socializing that I get for the most part. It's doing videos, how to make furniture, talking about politics, business, just kind of whatever I feel like talking about. So you guys appreciate this kind of stuff, hit the like button. Like I said, we'll try and do these things regularly. Trump gives us so much stuff to talk about. And again, I voted for Trump, but I'm super disappointed with what we got. I don't know that Kamala would have been any better, but goddamn, I don't know if she would have been any worse. Okay, who's this? Indie boyfriend. Indie boyfriend, interesting name. Okay, let's see. Can you thank Blackstone and corporations for high housing? Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point. Let's talk about that for a second. So here's the thing, guys. Blackstone is the parent company to what became BlackRock, right? So Blackstone went in, and they always say, well, these large corporations and these private equity groups, they always say like, oh, it's like 2 or 3%, right? It's such a tiny number. God, how could you care about such a tiny number? You know, oh, it's just ridiculous. Why would you care about this tiny number? Well, guess what? That tiny number is super fucking concentrated, okay? Super concentrated. So go look at how many of those houses they own in Georgia. Okay, is my mic muted, guys? Apparently, there's got to be 1,000 comments in here. I can't even tell if my mic's coming. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's see if I got all my stuff working here. Yeah, everything should be plugged in. Are we working now? Mike, you got it? All right, cool. We're back, guys. Sorry. I'm still technically a rookie at this. I know people have been doing this stuff for like 10 years. They're just finally getting traction. My wife actually messaged me, and she's like, hey, dumbass, your mic's off, so thanks, honey. I know you're trying to call me. Give me a few more minutes. I'll get back to you. Okay, all right. So, okay, we're back now. Oh, now you can't hear me again? Oh, no. Okay, how about now? Are we on now? I wonder if it's just something. Let's see. We good? Good? Don't start over. It's good. It's good. Okay. I feel I still can't hear you. Oh, no. Well, guys, hold on. Now someone's saying we hear you. We can hear you. Leave it. Okay, cool. All right, we'll stay here. So let's keep going through comments, guys. Let's see here. Don't touch anything. All right. We go back to what we were talking about here. I just a million comments coming in, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out today. People love to talk about this freaking Donald Trump guy. Okay, Clemo the Great. Yeah, I like Grindr app. Misplaced to meet up at Home Depot. Grindr, man. Apps used to be the thing for dating. I actually technically, I actually met my wife on Match.com. Right, these things work. I met my second wife on Yahoo Personals. So, I mean, it's a thing. It's like, I met one of my crazy girlfriends on, God damn it, what was the, there was like so many of these freaking dating apps. Apparently, because I work so much, dating apps work really good for me. So, dating apps are hilarious. Okay, let's look at some more comments. I'm just gonna try and, people that wrote the big stuff. All right, Son, are we working now? I know Son's in here. Son, tell me the truth. Yeah, okay. Apparently people can hear. Okay, it's working. All right, cool. I'm going to go through a few more comments here, and we'll get this conversation going again. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me. I even have good stuff, man. These are all Rode mics, man. I got money. I can buy good shit. Okay, let's see. Obi-Wan DK. Wow, you really think Trump did that with Prince Charles? That's a bit crazy. Yeah, I got no idea, man. I don't care who did what. If there's anything in those Epstein files, I don't give a shit who did what. I don't care. I just want to know who was in it and who committed crimes. That's all I care about, guys. It's just the rule of law. That's it. You want to go and diddle little kids? Great. We're going to find you. We're going to apply the rules that apply to you, and then we're going to deal with you, And if it's not cutting your dick off and sticking it in your mouth, then, I don't know. Maybe it's just prison, like whatever. But that's mine. It's dick in the mouth, maybe cut your throat, something like that. But we have to apply some form of law to these people, some form of justice, some form of accountability. You did the time, or you did the thing, right? You got to be held accountable, And if you get away with it, I'm glad you got away with it. But you can't get away with things forever. Eventually, you will get caught. That's just how it is. All right. Finally, I have to know how to start my own woodworking business. Again, who is this? This is what's this? Kevin Mack, 3602. So. Again, woodworking's not for everybody, guys, but woodworking is my thing, right? It's the thing that I did. It's the thing that got me from living in a trailer, which my wife makes fun of me all the time. I lived in a trailer, but it was a double-wide trailer. I lived in a trailer, right? And I had to move all over the place. I never finished high school. I wasn't interested. I didn't do the college thing. Education just wasn't for me. But I just did woodworking. I made furniture. I volunteered for everything. I learned how to make all kinds of things. I had to move from Oregon out to Kansas, where I got in the aerospace industry, started making furniture and cabinets for private jets. And then I went from, kind of crappier companies to mid-tier companies to where I ended up at the best company in the world, which is Gulfstream Aerospace. And I made decent money, best benefits, best of everything, in my opinion. One of the greatest companies you could ever work for. If anybody ever is looking for a great job or a great company to work for, strive to work for a company like Gulfstream. And the thing about it is, guys, is when I was a woodworker, I probably wanted to work for Gulfstream for about 12 years, right? I had a dream of working for this company because of the prestige of it. It's like I wanted to know that I was the best at what I did, and I just assumed that only the best companies would hire the best people. And I know that's kind of a little bullshit, but I was good enough to go there, and it took me a long time. I applied 3 times to that company before I actually got a call back, and eventually they flew me out there and interviewed me. And when I flew back, they told me a couple days later that they wanted to hire me, and then they moved me from Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, out to Savannah, Georgia, and it was a fantastic experience. Great company, great people, and there are companies out there. I hear a lot of people talk shit on businesses. I don't hear enough people say, I don't hear enough people talk about the good business, the good experiences they had. There's so much more traction when you have a terrible attitude and a terrible outlook on life. You're nihilistic, which everyone can be. But they don't talk about the good companies. You know, Gulfstream's one of the good companies, you guys. So if you ever need a good job, you want to get into that industry, hit me up in the comments. You know, I can give you some pointers on how to get into that industry. A dumb guy like myself, I started out making $10 an hour when I moved to Wichita, Kansas. $10 an hour, and that was in 2001, right after 9/11. I started out there. We worked tons of overtime, you know, so I could make closer to like, you know, $15 an hour with all the overtime there. I'd never worked overtime before. And then I grew that wage to where when I left that place, I was only making like $19 an hour. But then I moved jobs to a place called Nordam. Then I was making $23 an hour. Again, all the overtime, 80 hours a week. I mean, we worked a ton of money, which meant you were making $100,000 a year, right? All that overtime, everyone bitches about working overtime. That $100,000 a year in overtime at a really young age allowed me to buy homes. I've never not owned a home. I bought my first home when I was 21 years old. Again, I was making a ton of money because I worked so much overtime. But all that overtime led me to become a really fucking good furniture maker, a really good cabinet maker. Like, I could lay carbon fiber. I can build any kind of furniture that you want. I can build houses. I can do all kinds of fun stuff because of all the overtime. I got so good at it. You know, this isn't a brag. I'm just telling you guys what I did, and you can do it too. You know, aerospace is a great place if you want to work overtime. You want to make that time and a half all the time, triple time on holidays. That's where you do it. You know, so that's all I did. And it's not, woodworking is just all I've ever done, guys. So that's what I talk about. It's how I got to where I am today. And it's I'm not rich, man, but goddamn it, I don't look at the price of food anymore, which is good enough for me. All right, more comments. Actually, here we're gonna skip I'm gonna skip way down here, guys. Let's see what we got coming in the other comments here. I feel like I've been screwing everyone. Okay, Smokey's Choice, man, great name. Okay, all of them are in it, even Disney. That Maxwell worked in Disney. They even had a crew. Man, Disney's a messed up business, right? You guys remember the Mouseketeers, right? Like when I grew up, we had things like Nickelodeon. We had all these Disney shows. It was like a big thing. We watched a lot of television, and yeah, you had a lot of people like Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. I'm trying to think of maybe even Katy Perry. I don't remember if Katy Perry was part of it, but you had a lot of these young people in these shows that became really talented performers. And when you see the way that they've ended up, I mean, a lot of them are really fucked up. Like, there's something about attaining fame really young and getting that much exposure that really wrecks your mind. I don't know what it is. Maybe someone here on knows what it is, but yeah, there's a lot of crazy things that happened during those days. You had all those young people on those television shows. It was, I mean, even that Miley Cyrus chick, she was Hannah Montana, you know, she's a little hoe, really, you know, but anyway, whatever. I mean, good for her. She's, you know, makes stacks of cash, I'm sure, and is very happy with her life. So, okay, is this Hamrido Heck? I don't even know what the heck that name is. So, yep, thanks, dude. Okay, Just Thomas in 1997. Who are the people we are doing this to? What do you mean by who are the people we are doing what to? What are we doing? I'll keep going with the comments. So, Just Thomas, let me know what you're talking about there. Okay, Too Fast to Track. It's already available. Just go through. It's a lot of stuff, and it's going to take you a long time. I don't know what is available. Are you talking about the Epstein files? Because no, like 1% of the Epstein files have been released. Remember the Epstein files that don't exist, right? That aren't a big deal. Again, that's another thing. Like, Trump has so disappointed me in that regard. Like, does he really think that we're that? It's either you're that narcissistic to think that you can hoodwink the entire American population, or you're just so narcissistic that you don't care. Like, you know you can't be affected by this, and somehow it doesn't matter. You know, it's like what a wild way to live. Okay, who's this? We got this is River Apuri. Okay, you're only making it such a big deal because it's on Trump and I. I agree we should release them, but still you don't care about right and wrong. You think you're gonna get Trump. Yeah, not quite sure what you're saying there, dude. But yeah, Trump, like I said, Trump is you got to take the good with the bad, unfortunately. And in my opinion, it's swinging a lot more to the bad than I thought it was going to. I mean, it's great. I love not paying taxes. I love being able to write things off so that I can grow my business and hire more people. That I think is fantastic. But I don't know that he wants to help people start careers. I don't know that he wants to help people to make more money. I don't know that he wants to help people do anything. But the truth is, guys, like I said, I haven't even gotten to my numbers. So here, let me read you guys a few numbers that I have here real quick. Here's how many illegal immigrants are in these respective industries, okay? And then I'm going to tell you guys how much welfare we have going on in this country today. And the thing is that all of these people that are on welfare could be making real money at real jobs, doing real work. You know, and again, some say, oh, these are shitty jobs. Nobody wants to do these jobs. And again, I call bullshit. I don't think that I would be happy to pick lettuce and pick strawberries and work in a field if you paid me $50 an hour. I just would be. You know, what's that mean? A head of lettuce is going to cost me $8 instead of $3? I'm okay with that. You know, strawberries are going to cost me $10 a pound instead of $7 a pound. I'm okay with that. Like, I really am. You know, give Americans jobs. Stop letting them generationally be on welfare. It's not good for them. It's not good for our country. Okay, so listen to this. So it's estimated that 1.6 million illegal people work in the construction trade, okay? That's 1.6 million people making a wage, paying taxes, because the truth is, as employers, we have to fill out I-9s, so these taxes are going somewhere. And if these people are using illegal social security numbers, right, then that means that tax is going, the federal government is still getting its taxes, right? It might not be to the person that's paying them, but the government doesn't give a fuck, right? They just need to fill the void in Social Security. They just need to fill the void in Medicaid, because when it comes time to pay those out, those people aren't going to be here, so they don't have to worry about paying those benefits out to them, which is really fucked up, guys. Like, you should really insist on E-Verify for every employer in America, every single one of them, whether you got 1 employee or 50 employees or 1,000 employees. It is paramount that we get that thing going on here in America. Otherwise, all these industries are just going to continue to hire illegal immigrants, because here's how it works. The I-9 document is meant for your tax account. You got things like Social Security, name, address, date of birth, goes on your tax so that you know where the accountant knows where to collect the tax and where to send the tax to. If you do E-Verify, the information that's on the I-9 is ran through the Social Security system. So you actually have to verify that you are the person with that Social Security number, that your address matches up with the address that you have here, right? Everything is cross-referenced, so it's much more difficult to illegally obtain a job in America. You implement that, guess what? The only way people are getting employed is by paying cash, right? And then all you're gonna do is say, you know what? You're caught paying people under the table, $10,000 fine. It's done. Illegal immigration is fixed. Everyone will self-deport all on their own. We don't need ICE to go around and threaten people and you know, drag people out of their cars, out of their homes, all these kind of things. You don't need any of that shit, you know, but we're not going to do that, okay? Guess what? The restaurant industry and the hotel industry, Trump's industry, 1 million people are in that industry undocumented. We've all been to hotels. We know who works in the hotels. Everyone's aware of it, and it's whatever. It is what it is, you know, but odds are those people are undocumented, right? They don't have the right credentials to be working here in America. But again, because the employer has to fill out an I-9 instead of an E-Verify document, everyone's clean. The employer's clean, the employee is clean, the accountant is clean, everyone's clean. So 45.5 million Americans receive SNAP every month. 45 million people. There's only 360 million people in this country, or excuse me, 330 million people in this country, guys, okay? 5 million people are on Section 8. Every month they get Section 8 payments, okay? These people can get jobs. So if we can have 10 million people in here working illegally doing jobs, you tell me we can't get some of these people off welfare and becoming tax-paying citizens, you know, learning skills and trades that they can then pass down to their kids? I mean, how nice would it be to teach your kid how to make furniture instead of how to navigate the welfare system, right? It would be really nice, you know, but again, our president doesn't want to do that. He's not interested in fixing that problem. He just wants to make sure that the corporations continue to have lots of good workers that don't ask questions, that don't negotiate for higher wages, better benefits, right? And if that doesn't work, then they let the corporations send the work over to the third world where wages are really low. There's no regulations in the workplace. You can't sue your employer, right? And then they can just bring that money, mark it up the way that I was telling you guys. Remember the delta? The delta is the 2%, or excuse me, the $2.50 that you pay a worker in Vietnam, and the $32.50 that you have to pay an American worker to do a trade-related job. They take that $30 and they use it against you. Every corporation does it. They do it through lobbying. They do it through trying to bring up the minimum wage for everyone so that small businesses like my own can't compete with them. right? So when I want to bring you in from high school, pay you 15 bucks an hour, let you live at home, and then you learn a skill here at my business that you can then take on and you can do what I did, make $100,000 a year as a furniture maker. They don't want you to do that. They want you to go to college. They want you to go to college, right? And then they're going to give you the illusion that the company that's outsourcing work to the third world is going to give you a bullshit job like data analysis, data entry specialist, marketing specialist. They're going to give you this job. You're going to go to college, pay $100,000 to get that education. When you come out of college, you're going to make $50,000 a year. That's how it works, guys. That's why they don't want to get rid of illegal immigration. They don't want to cut off the third world. They don't want to do any of that shit. And Trump is failing our country in the worst way possible because the people that voted for him sincerely believed that he would do at least some of what he's talked about. But the pillars, the only pillar of this guy's entire campaign to run for president was closing the border. And that he did with an iron fist. Everything else, he's been a bitch. And that, it saddens me to say that, you know. So anyway, guys, I probably need to go. I probably talked long enough. I appreciate everyone hanging out today. We had a lot of people on the stream today. And again, I really do appreciate it. We'll do more of these things. Let me go through the comments real quick, guys. I'll give you guys 4 or 5 more minutes. Let's go through comments real quick. I'm sorry, I got kind of carried away. All right, Lucy Smoke's Choice says, check the Disney cruise itinerary. Yeah, I bet that's all kinds of bad, man. See, Too Fast, Too Track. I look them down at night and see anything right. Okay, dude, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. At least the children that were abused should get some sort of, yeah, there's, you know, here's the thing. This is Too Fast, Too Track. Go listen to Edward Furlong talk about coming up in the movie industry. He's very candid about it, and it's fucking disgusting. Like this guy, he was the kid that was in Terminator 2. When he got into that movie, it was like a really big deal because that was the biggest movie of all time at the time that it was made when James Cameron made it. It was the first $100 million movie. I remember it very well. But anyway, this kid, he wasn't going to school anymore. He was focusing on his movie career. Well, they would give him tutors, right? Because you want to continue learning, right? You want these kids to learn something. Well, he ended up fucking all of his tutors. Or I should say they were fucking him. It was really bad, really disgusting, and that's the movie industry, guys. The music industry, I'm guessing, is the same way. There's a lot of that going on with these young actors. And I mean, we've all seen it where teachers, you know, take advantage of kids and things like that. There's a lot of bad shit going on in this world, guys. And again, it's all about accountability. If you have enforcement of law and accountability, it's a really good deterrent to keep people from doing it again, right? You don't want people to come into this country illegally, round them all up like fucking animals and kick them out. And guess what? They ain't coming back. Again, it's not necessarily the right thing to do, I understand, but you guys see my point, okay? All right, next thing. Smoky Choice. Let's see here. Them kids have a better life than you. I have no idea what that means. I'm not even going to respond to that. Who's this? John R519Y. What does that have to do with woodworking? Again, so that's the thing about live streams. The thing about live streams is that we talk about business. I talk about woodworking. I talk about all kinds of things. That's the thing about a live stream, guys. If you guys go on my channel, which I know a lot of people that watch these streams, they're just watching streams. It's like there's categories of people. So the people that watch shorts very rarely watch long form content, right? The people that watch streams, same thing. They very rarely watch the actual videos that are in the channel. They like to watch the interactive stuff. They like to interact with people on the streams, and they'll watch a little bit of shorts. And we know all this stuff because on the back end here on YouTube, we have access to all the analytics about who's watching the stream, how long they watch the stream, what other kinds of content do people look at. So I know exactly what people are doing, how they're interacting with my channel, right? And so I do these live streams just talk about all kinds of things because we're people, you know, we're not just robots. Like some of these people, like that Bourbon Moth guy, who's doing there's the Blacktail Studios guy, that Four Eyes guy. Like, you think these guys ever talk politics? They don't, because it's bad for their brand, right? Because their business isn't making furniture. And I tell you guys this all the time. These YouTube woodworkers, they're not making their money making furniture, right? I actually make all my money making furniture, every bit of it. I don't make any money on social media, none of it. I don't make any money from selling t-shirts. I don't make any money from selling subscriptions. I make all my money by making furniture, and that's why you guys listen to me, and you don't listen to these other guys. You go to them for entertainment. You go to people like me if you want to know what it's actually like to run a woodworking business and deal with employees, looking at profit and loss statements, dealing with, trying to figure out how to do CAD software, CNCs, marketing, all this kind of stuff, because I actually do it. And my wife does a lot of that stuff, so she's probably the one you actually need to talk to. These guys, they're making their money off sponsorships, right? They're making their money off subscriptions, selling you drawings, selling you t-shirts. I think one of them sells mugs, they sell all kinds of shit. So yeah, I talk about all kinds of things because I don't want to be beholden to sponsors and corporate people. I can't say this because you're going to offend a potential sponsor. Oh, you can't say this because you're going to, no, I don't want to do that. Not on my live stream. On my live stream, I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. And if the conversation goes from talking about credenzas and bookcases to talking about Putin and Trump, I'm okay with that. I think that's a good thing, so that's kind of what I do, John. So, John, if you just only want to hear about woodworking stuff, I'm happy to talk about woodworking. What would you like me to talk about? I'll do it in my next stream, okay? You got all access to me on my next stream. What should I talk about? Throw it in the comments. I'll look for it before I close the stream, and that's what tomorrow's topic will be, okay? All right, Son says, some judge just blocked the files coming out. What are we going to do, Son? Those files are never coming out, man. And again, it's because all the people, everyone's implicated. Anyone that's anybody is in those files in one way or another. When Trump says things like, well, there's good people in those files and we don't want their names to be tattered, it's like, yeah, that's exactly who I want to see. I want to know who's hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Are they all bad people? No, but that's for me to decide. It's not for them to decide, right? You're going to hang out with those kind of people. Guess what? You're accountable for that, good or bad. I'm sorry. This isn't the 90s anymore where you can do fucked up shit and no one's ever going to find out. Now we got the internet. Everything's available to everyone, and people do not like that, especially people in power. They hate it. So yeah, but Son, you're right, dude. Okay, smoke choice. You're not clever enough. Okay, not sure what's going on there. Again, I never graduated high school. I'm not smart. I know that I'm not smart. I just learn and work my ass off. I just work harder than most people. That's the only reason I am where I am. Got nothing to do with my intelligence. This is common theme that the judge, yeah, you're 100% right, Son. Who's this? We got Gregory Rodriguez here. Good to see you, dude. Glad you're here. I wish I lived in Canada. No, you don't, man. Don't say that, man. America is the greatest country that has ever existed and probably will ever exist. I don't think we're going to make it past the greatness of America. We got everything here. Try living in one of these other countries, and trust me, nobody ever wants to go anywhere but America. You go visit other places. You want to go to Canada, so you go skiing in Whistler, then get the fuck out of there. You don't want to go deal with our healthcare system. You don't want to try buy houses there. You don't want to spend $700,000 on a ranch. You want to come to America where we can actually afford some stuff. We're going to actually make some decent money. You think that universal healthcare is great over there? Good. Go try and get some of it. Ain't happening. Listen to people talk about what it takes to get into see a hospital in that place. So be careful. My wife's from India. All I know is the experiences of the third world. And trust me, everybody wants to be right here. Don't fool yourself, dude. Okay, Nanny Business 30. None of you Business 30. Good name. Listen, I had a college degree. I worked so hard for those 15, so I worked hard for those 15, 20 an hour jobs. I called where there aren't a lot of jobs that make good money unless you have a master's. Again, I don't think there are a lot of jobs with no degree. I would tell anyone, don't get a degree. You can't make enough money with your degree. Good, come work for me. I'll pay you $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. You got to actually make something, though. This is the idea. The problem with people that have degrees, they don't make anything. They don't do anything that's tangible. And if you're really good at what you do, if you're really good at pushing paper around and managing people, and you're really good at doing the intangible, you can make great money. And a lot of those jobs do require a degree, and they're very necessary. But most jobs don't. And that's one of the illusions that people think that, well, I have a degree, I'm entitled to make $40 an hour, or my salary should be $80,000 a year. No, you're entitled to dick. That's what you're entitled to. You're entitled to whatever you convince somebody else to pay you. And that's that negotiation. You want to come work for me? I don't care about your degree. I want to know what you've done. I want to know what you can do. I want to know what you're willing to do. And then I want you to put your money where your mouth is. If you have no experience, guess what? I ain't paying you $80,000 a year because you got a fucking degree. It ain't happening. If you got no skills, you want to come work for me, I'm going to pay you $15 an hour. You show me you can do some, I'll pay you 17. Then I'll pay you 18. Then I'll pay you 20. Then I'll pay you 25. Then when you start actually making me some money, you can make $30 an hour, $40 an hour, $50 an hour. But you got to prove yourself. And I don't think there's enough people that really want to prove themselves. And what I'm telling you guys about the whole illegal immigration thing, you could be right that there are a lot of jobs out there where you could be a low-skilled person and you could make $30 or $40 an hour. But again, if you let a bunch of illegal labor in here, guess what? It ain't happening. If your job is so specialized that your company that you work for can send your job to the third world, you ain't gonna get paid. It ain't happening. So it's complicated, but there's a lot of great jobs out there today. Okay, my wife is telling me I need to bring the bullet heater home. Okay, we got crazy weather coming in here, guys. We're in Missouri. Okay, see, they pay them $7.25 to pick strawberries. I believe you're probably right. Again, I don't know that. I do know that as a business owner, there's no incentive to pay somebody minimum wage. Zero. I've never paid someone minimum wage. Hell, I've never paid someone, I don't think I've ever paid someone, have we ever paid someone less than 15 bucks an hour, honey? Like, I know you're probably watching this. I think, wait a minute, I did pay someone less than $15 an hour. I paid the best cabinet maker I've ever had, works for me today. He makes, what's he make? I think he makes like $33 an hour. He did make $10 an hour when he came in. Hardly spoke any English. His wife got him a job here. Showed me he could carve some stuff, turned into making furniture for us. He's been working with me for a long time. He's working for like 4 years. And we've raised the salary from $10 to $33 an hour, okay? Guy gets vacation, time off, all that kind of stuff. He did that in 4 years. So you're telling me you can't find a good job in 4 years? This guy did it. Wasn't even a fucking American citizen when he came here. He was from fucking Syria, war-torn Syria. Was a refugee from fucking Germany. Came here and figured it out. Now he's an American citizen, makes great money. He's got a wife, got a kid, got everything he wants. And you got people here today, oh, I can't figure it out. Give me a fucking break. There's an example of why people like me get disgusted at people that tell me, I went to college, I did everything right. Guy comes from literally a war-torn country, refugee, figures out how to make it here, barely speaks fucking English, and knocks it out of the park. There's your example. The nihilistic crybaby motherfuckers out here that constantly are bitching about how poor and sappy everything is. There's your good story for the day. Go tell your friends that story when they tell you they can't find a fucking job. Guy walked in here, I wasn't even hiring. Just walked in here and showed me the cool carved doors he did in Syria. Actually, I think he did a bunch of them in Jordan, but still, like, there you go. There's your example, okay? Dumb white guy from Oregon, grew up out in the middle of fucking nowhere in a trailer, figured out how to make plenty of money. Not great money, but plenty, enough to live, okay? So, relax, guys. There are good jobs out there. Let's see. They have a tax ID number, and they pay taxes. They do have a tax ID number, and they do pay taxes. The problem is they're never going to see the benefit from those taxes. They're never going to see any of that stuff. It's never going to, when a legal pays into the Social Security, they're never going to see the benefits of that Social Security unless they're granted amnesty and somehow their fake Social Security number is attached to their real ID when they get amnesty, which it won't be. That money's not going to them. That money's going to go to somebody else. So liar. They have tax ID. Oh gosh. Okay, none of your business. Again, I hire people. I have an accountant. I actually deal with tax law. But you keep going. You're right. They do have an ID number. It's just probably not a legit one. Okay. Let's see here. Gregory Rodriguez. Say that after you survived a Canadian winter. Yeah, Canada's no joke, man. It's freaking cold up there. Super cold. I lived in Oregon, right? So Vancouver's right across the way. You have Swan Islands out there. I mean, Canada's one of those beautiful places on earth, but super cold. Super cold. I used to be an obstacle course racer. I did a ton of obstacles. I used to travel all over America doing obstacle course racing. And Ryan Atkins was the best of all the obstacle course racers. He was a Canadian. And man, the dude is just a fucking beast, man. Canadians are no joke, man. They're just hard people. I can't watch you anymore. You're ridiculous. Okay. Have a good day. I appreciate hanging out. I appreciate the watch hours I needed for this channel. And come back. And happy to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, let's see here. Guys, I just got so many comments. I can't even go through them all. I did say I would look for this one guy's comment if he's still here. I don't see him anymore. All right, last 30 seconds, guys. Some people say they don't like me talking about politics and all these other kinds of things. They like me to talk about woodworking. What should I talk about tomorrow? Give me a topic. I'll talk about it tomorrow. You guys want to talk woodworking? I'll talk woodworking. But generally, I talk about the business of woodworking. If you want me to talk about how to make things, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do it. So I'll give you guys 60 seconds to write something in here. We'll call it good. Who else we got here? Let's just say hi to some people. This is Ingwar Draco. Great name. Work is for slaves. No, work is not for slaves. Work is for humans. It's very important to work. The way this country works is you provide a service to somebody else. Somebody pays for that service, then you go buy services from other people. And it's a web of that. People that don't work, very tough to respect those people in certain instances. I'm speaking very broadly there, but Working's very important. I think it's very important. I used to be Secretary of Labor in Idiocracy. Okay, that sounds good. Who's this, JD Salinger? Thanks for your comment, man. I appreciate it. Tell me your ideas. What would you do? Add to the comment. We got Barn Door C21. You remind me of Terrence McKenna. I've heard that name before. I must be terrible with. I feel like I recognize the names. I just can't place faces to them. I think you should be a dancer. Nope, I'm a terrible dancer. Okay, we got Starboy the Knight. Love you all. Great. Starboy the Knight. Cool. Mike Connors, 3431. Any advice for a small guy looking to try and start a small business refinishing and lacquer that doesn't seem to be a market in my area? I'm leaving a hard time making a profit. Mike Connors. Okay, Mike Connors, my phone is about to die. If you're still in here, this is what I will talk about tomorrow. Come on the stream tomorrow, remind me of this topic, and I will try and remember this, and I will specifically address your question, because I have a ton of advice. I've helped other people with their lacquer businesses, specifically lacquer businesses. We'll talk about your area, we'll talk about your market, we'll talk about your equipment, your skill level, what it is you're spraying, what are you spraying, what kinds of products are you spraying, what kinds of furniture are you spraying, are you spraying cabinets, on-site, off-site? We can talk about all those things. Who are you hiring? Where are you doing this work from? Tomorrow, I'll give you my whole episode dedicated to helping you start or helping you with your business, okay? So Mike Connor, if you're still here, dude, I appreciate it. We'll do that tomorrow. Yes, Plas is in here. Weren't you just telling us that we shouldn't be bringing illegals in? Then you tell us you hired one. No, there's a difference between a refugee and an illegal immigrant. An illegal refugee is brought in by America. These people are literally brought in here because they are refugees from a country that we bombed, no less. So that's how it works. We bomb a country, we bring all the refugees in here, okay? So that's kind of what's going on there. So no, I was not contradicting myself, but I appreciate what you're saying. You have a good point, but you're incorrect about what I was saying. Maybe I wasn't clear. Okay, let's see, what's your watch hours at? Son, my watch hours are, I'm at 2,600. I have had some big streams lately. So I'm picking up like 25 to 40 hours a stream, which is great. This one could be a 100-hour stream. I got a lot of freaking people in this one tonight. So we'll see. I'll update you guys. Keep asking, son. I'll keep letting you know. I think I'm at 2,600 hours. I'll have to check. I try not to check every day because I get frustrated with how slow it is, and I'm super impatient. But son, good to see you, man. Have a good one. Yak y'all later.